So I don't have kids, nor do I plan on having any. In fact, I got a vasectomy to ensure that it doesn't happen. But now that I'm 32, a lot of my friends are deciding to have kids now. And while I'm happy for them, I'm realizing that my path to fulfillment and happiness doesn't look like theirs. And so in this video, I'm gonna share 10 big reasons why I decided to choose a child-free lifestyle and why you may want to as well. So number one is there's no pull or drive for me to want to have kids. So ever since I was 16, I never really wanted kids, and people would often tell me, oh, you'll change your mind once you get older. Well, I'm 32, almost 33, and I still feel exactly the same way. I just don't have any intrinsic desire to have kids. Number two, kids are expensive. So between clothes, education, healthcare, and food, all the necessities, kids are just crazy expensive. My mom told me that they probably spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on me, especially when you factor in that they paid for my undergrad education, which I'm immensely grateful for. But when I think about how much kids cost, I'm like, I would rather that money go towards something else that I enjoy. That leads beautifully to number three, which is I like to travel. And by the time you're watching this, I'm gonna be in Thailand, and I'm spending a whole month in Thailand, which I'm ecstatic for. And there's just no way that I could do that with kids. I wouldn't have the time for it. I wouldn't have the money for it. And so I would rather my money go towards living fulfilling experiences and traveling to cool places. Number four, I like spontaneity. So I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm an hour away from the Blue Ridge Mountains. And there are some weekends, holy crap, this horn, I don't know if you can hear this horn in the background, but it's really intense. But anyway, I live really close to the Blue Ridge Mountains, and there are some weekends where I just want to do a spontaneous day trip to do some hiking. And again, there's no way that I could do that if I had kids, especially if they're like infants. I can't take them hiking. And even if they were old enough to go hiking with me, then there's a good chance that they might have sporting events or some other commitment on a weekend that would make it to where I can't do spontaneous trips. Number five, it conflicts with my career goals. So I have ambitious plans to have a remote one-person business, and I devote a ton of time to making that dream become a reality. And I know that if I had kids, I would have to shut down that dream because I just wouldn't have the time or the energy to juggle both. Number six, I'm already a lot to look after. I get frequent self-doubt, overwhelm, anxiety, and general monkey mind. There's a lot of self-maintenance I have to do to kind of keep me on track with my goals, as well as just to be present in life. And so having kids would just detract from my ability to work on myself and be present. Number seven, kids are stressful. They cry a lot, they complain a lot. Hell, you can't even understand what they're saying for the first few years of life. Now, I have friends who say that having kids is the best thing that has happened to them, and I believe them. But those same people also complain about how tired they are, how stressed out they are. And for me, I'd rather just avoid that stress altogether. Number eight, this is kind of a dark one, but potential health complications. So when I was a baby, I had a condition called spinal meningitis, which is an infection of the membrane that covers the spinal cord and brain. If that sounds bad, that's because it's hella bad. Like, if that doesn't get treated, then I can have brain damage, and if I don't get hospitalized within 24 hours, it can lead to death. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for helicoptering me to the hospital, because otherwise I might not be here. But all that to say, not all babies come out healthy, and some can have pretty bad birth defects, and some that can even persist throughout life. And I can't imagine the stress and anxiety that parents have when they have to care for a child that has certain birth defects like that. So again, I would rather just avoid all that stress entirely. Number nine, the ratio of precious moments to awful moments often isn't that good. So parents obviously will celebrate the milestones in their child's life. The first time they walk, the first time they talk, the first day of school, all that fun stuff. But what happens in between those milestones often isn't that glamorous. For example, my parents never fail to tell me of when I was an infant and I was bumping down the stairs on my butt. Well, apparently I had to go to the bathroom and I wasn't wearing a diaper, and so I did it down the entire staircase. And it was carpeted stairs, and it was not number one. Never has my dad wanted to drown me in a bathtub more than that moment. Number 10, it's a lifetime of work. So people say it's an 18-year time commitment to be a parent. No, it's not. I lived with my parents until I was 30 years old because I was paying down grad school debt. And really, if you think about it, being a parent is a lifelong commitment. My mom always says that her job as a mom is lifelong and it never ends. And so if you think that being a parent stops at 18, that's just not real at all. And so for me, I just don't want to have that commitment. People often tell me that I'll never experience the joy of parenthood. And while that's true, I'm enjoying life a lot right now. I'm happy, I'm doing things and having experiences that are meaningful to me. I'm working towards goals that I'm passionate about. Not everyone is meant to have kids, and I think if people want kids just to follow the traditional life script that society lays out for us, I think that they should really sit down and reflect on what their actual values are and seeing if having kids aligns with that. Kids deserve to have parents who intrinsically want to be parents in the first place. I think society pressures people into having kids no matter who you are, but I think some people can find purpose and meaning through other ways, and that's definitely the camp that I fall into. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.